part 57, or however many number this is, of having IIH. And today I'm going to cover how I manage the headaches. So, the last time I didn't have a headache, years ago. I have had a headache every day for the last probably 3 or 4 years. There has only been, I want to say, probably a 2 week span total where I didn't have a headache, and those were, I want to say, a couple of days medicated. Yeah, this shit sucks. So I wake up every day with a headache. It is really just pretty much how I start my day. And it goes away after getting some coffee in me. But for the most part, I have a low grade headache throughout the day. So I have two types of headaches. So I have a headache due to my migraines, and then I have headaches due to having idiopathic intracranial hypertension. So, one of my big issues was getting the doctors to understand that not only do I have migraines, I have IH. So, part of the big issue that I was having was being able to describe the different types. So, for a lot of people, that is going to be your biggest issue in getting people to see that you have IIH. So, being able to describe how they're presenting, where they're presenting, and how often they're presenting. Because in describing how they're presenting and where they are, that's going to get you to figure out how you approach them differently. Because my migraines are a lot different than the pressure headaches, and that is how I get to figure out how to manage them differently. So I manage all of them staying hydrated. I drink a lot of water throughout the day, usually carrying one of these joints. Actually, never used to carry one of these. I would just drink water in water bottles, but I had a breast reduction, and a friend of mine gave me one of these just because I needed one when I was recovering from the surgery, and just because lifting and everything, you needed a straw. So she gave me hers. So this has been very helpful in managing, making sure that I fill this 3 to 4 times a day. So drinking plenty of water. Because I keep my sodium low, I tend to stay away from electrolyte drinks because that has sodium. But staying hydrated, especially if I feel a headache coming on. So when I talk about the presentation of the headache, so right now, the headache that I feel, move my head a little bit. I have a headache that's right here, and that's pretty much constant. I feel that all the time. Um, right now, because of this heat, I'm getting ready to go outside, hang out with some friends, and I have some friends coming over later, and I know I'm going to be outside running some errands. And so I know that I'm going to feel a headache right in the back. So where my veins, I have transverse sinus stenosis. I know I'm going to feel a headache, and I'm going to feel the pressure right here and right here. That is where my veins are collapsed. So I know that's going to be a sharp and a stabby pain. That's also going to be a headache and head pressure. It's going to hit right here and right here, and it's going to be intense throbbing behind my eyes. I also have, I consider this a headache, not an earache, even though it is in my ears. I have ear and head pressure. It starts in my ears and it's like an ice pick. So it starts usually in my left ear and it travels all the way up. I also get a squeezing. So it's like on either side, and it's like someone took kitchen tongs and they were squeezing through my brain. And so I typically don't take any sort of medication. I don't take Tylenol. I don't take um, ibuprofen for this because it doesn't touch it. I don't take any of that unless it gets to the point where, so right now on a 1 to 10 scale, I'm sitting at about a 3. And I'll sit at about a 3 throughout the entire day. Now, if it goes up to about a 6 or a 7, and it's a 6 or a 7 for a prolonged period of time, that is when I will take something. So that's when I'll take some medicine. Um, if it gets to the point where my vision starts to blur, where I can't really see, where I can't hold my head up. Sometimes they get to the point where my neck feels heavy, where I can't really feel like I can hold my head up. or where it feels like I'm cracking my neck a lot and the head pressure, it's just too much and my head hurts and I need to go lie down, that's when I need to start taking something. And typically I can feel something like that coming on because I'll feel the pressure literally going up my neck. So I'll try and take something. Sometimes I'll take some Excedrin. Sometimes I'll make myself another cup of coffee because I know that the caffeine helps to take the edge off. So I'm on topiramate and I'm also on Emgality. So I'm on topiramate for the IIH and the migraines. I'm on just the Emgality for the migraines. So both of those are what's helping to keep me at a level 3 because before this, I was at a 6 or a 7 on a day-to-day basis with the pain. Right now, I can be on anywhere from a 1 to a 3 on a day-to-day basis on a pain scale. But typically, I have a headache every single day out the week. There hasn't been a day when I don't have a headache. Those are my main type of headaches. They're typically dull. If I get anything that is sharp and stabby, that is a sign that there's something is wrong and that it needs to be managed. Managed by drinking water. If things are sharp and stabby, sometimes I'll go and I'll get an ice pack and I will do this with it. So they actually make these hats for it, but I wasn't buying one off Amazon. Get an ice pack, put it on my head, and then I cover my hat with my winter hat. So, like so. So I do this, and this will also help to take the edge off a little bit. And then part of why I do this instead of using the caps that they buy off Amazon is because my hats are satin lined, and honestly, I I just prefer my satin lined hat. Um, and then I will typically move the ice pack from here, and I will grab a kitchen towel and I'll wear it around the back of my neck. But I don't rely on ice too much because it really just kind of takes the edge off. It doesn't help me a lot of the time. It's just kind of a nice little cooling sensation. And sometimes that shock can be a little too much for me. But for the most part, all I can do is just kind of rest through it. So hydrating and then going to sleep because unfortunately for me, when my headaches get really bad, the tinnitus gets super loud because the headaches get loud. Not the headaches get loud. The headaches get really bad and the tinnitus gets loud because I hear the pulsing. I hear the sounds like it just it's super loud. Like I hear my heartbeat in my ear because I hear the fluid rushing and it's just dum 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 dum. So I just try to go to sleep. I'll typically turn the lights off. I'll try and rest. That's that's all I can do to manage it. I'll turn the screens down because when things are really bad and really sharp, I have to take off my glasses because sometimes being able to see is too much for me. Um, Sometimes if things are just too much, I know that I need to eat something. Um, and so I will grab a piece of fruit because I don't want to eat something that has too much sodium because for me, sodium is a trigger. So I will try to grab a banana, an orange, something that has some potassium because for me also with the topiramate, I do have the can't think of the word right now, neuropathy in my hands and my feet. So the potassium helps to offset that. So those are just a couple of things that I do when I'm having issues with the headaches. I just found somebody on one of these apps who does some drinks for migraines, so I'm going to try some of those out. I'm actually headed to the grocery store today, so going to go and grab some ginger, going to go grab some limes and see if some of those drinks help.